I always think it's so crazy. It's like 5:30 and it's still really pretty dark out. It's definitely not like blue skies. I don't know how it does that. The only reason I even have the window open is because I put the plant light on. I mean, it's not so dark out. Like, I mean, I think you could still be like a fishbowl in here, but it is definitely not light and bright, like and blue looking outside. I don't know. It's always weird, like the way these cameras pick up the sun and just different things, like different colors and stuff. It's weird. Yesterday, this always drives me crazy. So I was sitting outside yesterday, and last year I did so many videos on it. And I think even the year before I did, it really weirded me out. And it still weirds me out because I have these trees, like in my neighborhood is lots of trees. It's like it's like in the forest. And then some people cut down a ton of trees. Some people just cut down enough trees to put their homes. So, but my yard's very full of trees. And so in the middle part where my house and my buildings are and stuff, there's no trees. So that's my part of the sky. And so the trees are kind of around me. And so I was always taught that the sun is above us. The sun is straight above us at noon. And even when I was talking about, like the tribes talking about eating and them saying that you should always eat when the sun's above you. That should be the time you eat your biggest meal. And so, I mean, that is like a said thing. The sun goes above us. It's like something that you grow up. And I think when the sky is so open in some places, like I keep wondering, did I just not notice? Like I keep trying to think back. And there's just so many things that we just assume. So we don't pay attention. I mean, we assume the sun's doing what it's supposed to do. So we don't pay any attention. And so and then when something changes, like you move to a new place and suddenly there is markers. There was something else I was going to call them, but like markers. And so then it changes your perspective. And so now the sun never goes over me. Never has it ever gone over the top of me since I've lived here, which I have said so many times, even with this burping thing. This burping thing is weird. And I got it when I moved over here. And what's even weirder about that is I had 2 daughters who in Spokane said they've never burped. They would complain about it, like, God, how do you burp? They would drink soda and stuff, like, how do you burp? And they could never burp. And then come over here and start burping. And so then it's like, okay, what is going on? This is the kind of shit I think about. Like, okay, is it the atmosphere? Is it the chemical? Like, what in the hell is going on over here? But that is, to me, like, you got to remember, like, science is all about the hypotheses. You see something and then you try and figure it out. And you have to use even if you think, okay, well, I figured it out. And this is the same occurrence every time. But then you have to change. Well, what if I did it at night? What if I did it with 2? What if I did it with 1? And, you have to keep changing it to see if you get the same outcome. That's all science is. Constantly come up with the hypotheses and then try it in all different ways to see if it's consistent. And that's how they spend their day. Well, some of them are crazy and mixing animals and people together. So fuck them. But, so anyways, okay, so I gotta think what I was saying. So the hypothesis and the that was one thing that I noticed that I thought was strange, was like this like atmospheric thing. And then once I started noticing that the sun never goes over the top of us, it always goes to the side. And so it's like swings out. So I'll go sit on my little patio, and I've talked about this so many times, but so the trees, and then there's like I'll do my finger thing again. There's like the trees. And so this year it's crazy how, oh my gosh, it's crazy how green and lush everything is. It's mental. I really thought there was not gonna, I thought everything was killed last year. So I'm like, okay, we did have a shift in the timeline because this is trippy. And so so in here, so you got these trees, which I would guess, I don't know, 175 foot tall or something. Like I'm not good at numbers and math, but they're tall. I tried to go out and measure to see, like some of them are really, really big around. And the height, so I tried to, try to figure out the measurements by looking it up and stuff. So anyways, I think they're like 175 foot tall or something like that. They're really tall. I mean, I'm like in an older forest, not the really old kind of forest, like in, Idaho, but I don't know. I would think this is really old forest. And so, the trees, it was heartbreaking too to see them getting sprayed and killed and stuff. Like, man, these things have been here this long, and man just destroys. It's sickening. And so so the trees, they're, over here. So the sun is going like this. The sun is down here. It never goes up here. It's always down here. So the only time I get sun is between these trees. So I get it like, I think it's like, I don't know, 1 to 1:30, 2:30 to 3. It's like there's only these like little pockets of sun on my patio right here. I don't get a lot of sun. And so, like now I have my heater on and stuff. I'm freezing. I'm always, like, it can be warm out there, but when you live in the trees, it's not. And plus, whatever they're doing with the sun, I think that they're putting a lens or something. Like, I don't know. I know the sun is not far, like they tell us. I mean, this confirmed it to me. The sun can't motherfucking get over the goddamn trees. It's off to the side. And if I'm on the West Coast, so I'm way over here on the West Coast, and the sun is going to the side. So I keep trying to think, like, what's the deal with our fucking map? And I'll tell you another thing. I've seen more people talking. Remember when I was talking about in Ohio about, isn't that weird? What was it? Was it the Palestine? It was something. It was something with the names on this map of where this, how the water was going, like following. And I was like, that is so weird. These are all names of places like over in the Middle East. I was like, that's weird. Wonder why we have those names like that. And I started paying attention about that when I started hearing people talk about, like, we're really in Egypt, and they tell us it's America, like we're in this, and there all those discoveries being down in the Grand Canyon. Like, there's more shit going on down there now. And so anyways, I was paying attention to that, but now I keep hearing more people talk about different names of cities, and other people are noticing, like, there's a lot of cities here that the names or the towns are called a town that is in the Middle East. And so I'm like, that is strange. So anyways, okay, so if we're on this, like, we know the map is a big fat lie. And so, and the ice wall. So I am like, am I closer to the ice wall? Like, I don't know. It's like you would have to really walk. Like those guys who tried to walk the map, they're like way back. Because they were like, I think, where I had heard of them was about these two guys going out and trying to measure. And that's when they started saying the map does not matching. It doesn't. There's something wrong. And that is where I started hearing more stuff about flat earth and stuff. So anyways, when you just try and notice the things around you that are strange, that don't go with what you've been told, like the sun not going above us, the sun going out to the side, the atmosphere or the environment or something being, I mean, I've lived by sea level before, and I don't remember having all this burping and stuff. So I don't know what it is, but it's just something to notice. Like, where is the ice wall? If the firmament goes down, like if it's like this is what I keep imagining. Like, I'm way over here. Like, I don't know though. Like, I don't get, but you just have to pay attention. You know, that's my theory. Just keep paying attention to shit and you'll start seeing that. We'll start understanding more. Although there's so much weird shit like that I don't understand. I don't understand everything going on inside my body. Like I can't even believe how I guess weird. It's just getting weirder and I don't know how to explain it. And like all these things inside of my body hurting so much and stuff, like I don't understand that at all. And I just don't, man, I don't know. You know, and I do all these fucking detoxes and shit, like I feel like I'm doing all this shit right. It's like, God, I don't even know how people are making it who are just still out there eating all this shit and just not, oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like my joints hurt so bad. And it's something else. It's like this general, like where I was saying, like when you go sit down to try and pee, you just don't feel inside anymore. It's weird. It's like, I don't know how to explain this stuff. It's so weird. And it just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And, I keep thinking, is this like letting go of this concept of flesh and blood? Like, what is going on here? This is so strange. And so, you know, I don't know. All I can say is if you're having a lot of weird stuff, don't panic, you know, because it is weird. There's weird stuff happening to me too. So don't feel totally alone or like it's just you or, you know, maybe you need to go to the hospital. Like I'm not going to go to the hospital. Like that's a death chamber. Like there's no fucking way. And I'll tell a couple of things too about, cause I just saw, I guess they're having, some sort of a conference thing or something. I just saw a speaker. Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't believe this. I saw this guy speaking. So he's on a stage in a suit and all these people listening. And he was talking about, see, there's something about a group, all these groups that are splitting off from the groups. And it's kind of like the bad group to me. It's like the toxic group. And so then they're having this split off and forming these other groups, like the gays against groomers now. And this one is something with mental health. And I can't remember what he was saying, but I listened to his talk, the part I heard of it. I'm sure it was more than the 3 minutes I heard. But he was saying that about the diagnosis. This is all stuff I've been saying for a long time. Is the psychiatric diagnoses are all bullshit. They're all made up. They're not real sicknesses. They're not real diseases. They're made up, and they're made up for people who. It's kind of, I love the way he was explaining it. It's kind of like if you're strange or odd or you just don't fit in, you're crazy. Like one point he made is like, you could have a guy over in the Himalayas who spends all his time walking around and praying and, you know, can sit for hours and chant and stuff like that. And he's like, over there, you know, we would see him as a holy man, bring him over here to America, and we're going to see him as crazy, lock him up and give him shock treatments. And he was saying, it is, so those of us, like I said, I've been called crazy so much, it's not even funny. And that is why, you know, I'm firm on that. I know I'm not crazy. And anybody who thinks I'm crazy, that's your, you know, that's your, to me, that is the being locked so much into the 3D to think that the other people who are having different experiences are crazy. Then you're the one with the problem. This world's not crazy. Like this stuff isn't crazy. This is real. Like I feel so fortunate over some of the experiences I had. You know, I just feel like when you start talking to them and you're 3 years old, you don't question it. You don't sit there, like I said, I didn't question, like, who are you? What's your name? You know, I just knew they were trying to help me and talking to me and telling me things all the time. And I knew when I told people that they were talking to me and telling me things, and this isn't true, they said this isn't true, they said that. And people say, okay, crazy. That was, you know, uh, it was that if you were spiritual, I hear these people talking about certain things like right now, like being left out, like the people being so, this whole LBGT, that whole thing is really left a lot of people out where they're, I don't know, confused, desperate, fighting for their identity, whatever the personal battle is that each person has. But the, let me think what I was going to say. Because the people, the LGBTQ, oh, yeah, because it was making me think about, like, I keep hearing these people say all this stuff and everything, and I was thinking, man, like, I don't think anybody really gets it unless they've done it, unless they lived it. I mean, there's people doing it right now, and it's very dramatic, but this is a totally different time. This is a totally different experience than when I did it. When I did it back in the, so I graduated 79, and then 80, so it was around 80 or 81, and I was never all in on the church anyways. And that is another fortunate thing, that I had in my life experience was my dad. I didn't have two super religious parents. I had one that was, called himself agnostic, and one that was super religious, which still is. But so at least I had that kind of balance there. So if dad's not going to church, why do we have to go to church? If dad doesn't think this, why do we have to think that? And so, and my mom said, well, he's the devil. You don't want to be with the devil, do you? So then I go, so to me, when I went against religion, when I went against the church, when I started saying, no, I don't believe that. I don't think that's true. That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, that's not how I think. That's not God to me. God's about love. God isn't about punishment. And all those things that I would say, and people would just think, that was crazy. But people don't realize the magnitude of what it was to stand up to that energy back at that time. That was a strong ass energy. It was very unacceptable to go against God or the church or anything and say that you were, and all I was saying, yeah, there's God. I believe in God, which was always, I can't even tell you how many motherfucking times I had to say that. Like, as soon as you would say, like, and these conversations were nonstop. What church do you go to? Where do you go to church? I told you it was even on the applications. What is your affiliate? What is your church? It was everywhere. That was like a part of who you were. And when I said, no, that's not a part of me. That's maybe a part of you. But the God I understand is all about love. He isn't going to punish people. He isn't going to say, like, these people get access to know who I am, but these people don't, and they get to go to hell for it. I was like, no, that's not what I believe. And it was a lot to stand up to that and say my own truth. And, you were shunned. You were called stupid, crazy, ridiculous stuff. I'm talking since the 80s. This is only a new thing, the spiritual. And it really, if I'm 100% honest, it really motherfucking irritates me that some of these people that I know have fucking bullied me and called me names, like, and it may not be that exact individual, but I know they were doing it to somebody. And now they're all claiming how they're so fucking holy. And it really, really irks me. When people are coming in talking about things that I've been studying all the way back there, and y'all made fun of, and y'all said were ridiculous, and now you're out here telling people the way it is because you're suddenly, know it all. I'm telling you, that really does irritate me. That is a big trigger. And it is, I don't know, the ego and arrogance, and maybe it's my own. I don't know. But, you know, when you get called names and made fun of for so many years, and, you know, and I'm, you know, and I know there's going to be people, oh, well, I never acted like that. Well, I didn't say that. Well, I didn't feel that way. Yeah, bullshit. I was on the other end of it. I know what I've been called. I know what I've been laughed at. I know. So, yeah. And it wasn't just because I said, you know, I said there's ghosts. I said there's Bigfoot. I said there's aliens. Aliens aren't monsters. All this stuff. And I don't know. That just really aggravates me. Is these fucking people? It just, when I know they're the ones, especially because they're coming out now, just like, well, guess what? You know, no, people don't understand reincarnation, but it's a real thing. Oh, you guys, you know, there really is aliens. There really is. And look, you know, these people, I just know we've got a lot of fucking experts out there who were the ones who were bullying those of us who were really trying to get these messages out to people. So, I don't know. That's my shit I gotta get over. It's aggravating, though. Really, really is. And, so, and seeing these videos, you know, it's just like, oh my God. I just really want to... Because all those years where you had to stand strong, being alone, you had to stand there and take all of the jokes, the laughing, the snickering, the making fun, the name calling, and unless you wanted to bend over and please everybody else and go against your own insight, your own knowing, your inner knowing, and I've never been able to do that. I've never been able to go against my inner knowing to please other people, no matter how many people I had standing there telling me I was crazy. So, whatever. I was just, you know, it's just an aggravation. But so the doctor, he's talking about, you know, we have to stop this mental health whole thing. This is complete bullshit. And that is what I have been saying. These people are not fucking crazy. I mean, the people who are crazy is because they believe they're crazy, because they've lost a grip on their own reality. Like, just because people have realities that are still crossing over into other realms doesn't mean they're crazy. It means they're more open. Their veil isn't as thick. They're more open to other realms and they can see through them. And in this realm where we're all like, no, this is the only one. This one right here. You're crazy. Go away, crazy. This is the only one there is. You don't even know what you're talking about. There's not people talking to you. There's motherfucking people talking to them. There's motherfucking people talking to me. And now I see people... I'm going to have to just get over some of this shit. These people who, you know, yesterday all of a sudden realized, and now they're the experts, like, just get over it, Kelly, get over it. But these, the beings that are talking, I see these people who are just like, you guys, there's really is people talking. Don't think you're crazy. There's people who are really talking and telling, you know, now telling people how to go in and listen and stuff like that. But I've been telling you guys this, you know, how to do it and stuff. And, you know, if my techniques don't work for you, there's plenty of other people out there, and theirs may work better. Because although they are the expert, they've only been doing it for a very short time. So they may have some really good techniques for you. Because it is harder, I think, to tell someone when it is so natural. And I didn't even know. Like I'm telling you, when I started doing, you know, I was just living my life. And then once I started doing the awakening and stuff like that, and started, I don't know, it was a whole nother level of what was going on for me. But then when I started seeing, okay, let me think what I was seeing, because it just went out real quick. So when I was seeing, because I was, when I very first started awakening, and I started seeing what was it I was going to say? Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll come back to me. There was something yesterday I left off, and now I can't remember what it was. I really do need to start writing down. Just be one of those people who carry around a recorder. Okay, also this, also that. I do need to be more organized, probably. But and I think it would be easier too, is if it wasn't just me sitting here just talking. If I had actual, questions or something that I could answer them. But anyways, so the but when I started hearing, oh yeah, because that's what I was going to say. So because I've been talking to him my whole life, ever since, like I've said, the story a billion times about when I was 3. And so I've been talking to them, and I honestly thought that's how we all lived. I thought we all lived the same way. That's what was so confusing when I would interact with people, because I couldn't understand, like where's your guidance? Like there was just things like I couldn't understand how people thought or whatever. And so then when I started going through my awakening part, so it was like 2016 or something, when I started looking at the channeling stuff, like when I was looking at tarot and stuff like that. And I started watching, and it was when I was listening to Dolores Cannon and all this stuff, and I was listening to channelers. And I was like, man, I want to channel. I think I could channel. I have awareness of these people and stuff. And so I started going in and watching the Moore show. Now she's at the door. I knew she was going to do this. Hold on. Come on, please. Why do you do this? When you just come in when I ask you. Okay, so I tried to get her in like 4 times before I started. She just refused, and she's having, like, she made me get up anyways, or like 4:30, but her stomach keeps growling and growling, so I don't know if she doesn't feel good, but whatever. I know there's, and the sky is clear, so it's not like, I guess I can spray shit on us if we can't see, like, I don't fucking know, like, I don't know how you just go into all of a sudden having just everything so sore, like, and it always happens with both of us. So anyways, so I was, when I went in to watch the Moore show, and I was listening to all the different people channel, because he went in, because he was trying to understand what was happening to him. So he started interviewing tons and tons of channels, asking them how they knew, blah, 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 all that stuff. So I was watching that, and that's how I figured out that that's what I was already doing. I didn't know that that's what I was already doing. I didn't know I was already listening to them. And I didn't even really realize it until, because they're always talking to you. They're always sending messages. But a message came through that it was said, you may not even know that you're doing it because it comes so natural. So that is something to keep in mind too, is because we haven't been talking about this stuff. Like, if you did talk about this kind of shit, you were called crazy and stupid, and go get a job, go to work, go get a real life, stop talking crazy. So anyways, that whole that is when I realized that I was actually what they call channeling, is when I watched that. And so it can be that some of the stuff that you do, so naturally you don't realize that you're doing something that other people think is something. But that's how I figured it out. Like, I was doing something just regular that other people look at as like, well, I can't do that. And so they call it channeling, or being psychic or something like that. But, you can't have it be just totally natural. Like, and I really don't understand, how everybody thinks, how everybody perceives. And it's kind of sad when you have people, who have these beings talking to them, and then they've got nasty ones around them telling them that they hate them, they're going to kill them. I don't know how, if some of those people, if it is their challenge that they're trying to get over, if it is something they're trying to learn about themselves, if they've brought an attachment into this life, like, I don't know. I'm sure it's a lot of, a whole variety of things. I hear people saying things so much, and everybody thinks things are like so black and white and set and stuff. And things are black and white because we make them black and white. That's what the whole the polar opposites, the division is all created on that whole concept. So that's why we have to let go of the concept of this black or white and realize it's all, well, we can get it into the gray, where we have to just be like, there is no it's just this, it's just that. It is all like, and what it even gets crazier is when you have the two extremes is the more or less people. Yeah, and it's getting less and less and less. The most people are in the middle. Don't want to argue extreme, but the blue side, definitely, man, they are so triggering to those people, like what they're doing. And because the stuff I see them come out and say, oh my gosh, some of the stuff I want to go in and say something, but it's like, fuck, I don't want to go in. I don't have the energy for this shit. And yesterday I saw this one, and this woman, she's, panicking, and we're all having to abandon, like, we've all had to leave Florida. We've all had to leave Texas. We've all had to leave, and they're trying to figure out where to go. We're not going to have any blue states to go to. What are we doing? Where are we going? And all this shit. In the same time yesterday that I got a notification that in my state, now, if your child, when the school is the ones determining these things with the children, it's not happening in the homes. It's happening in the schools. And now here, if the kid in the school decides to transition, then you lose custody if you're not on board. You don't get to have your kids anymore. They're now a product of the environment, of this agenda that is, and that's where these people want to hurry up and move to. They feel protected by that. And it's really nuts is that in the ones they're trying to escape from, it's the opposite. So if they do push that agenda on their kids, they get their kids taken. And so they want to, obviously push the agenda on their kids, or they fear that somebody's going to think that they are or whatever. So they're abandoning. And then they, you want to go to a blue state, go up here, you can get all your kids to transition. That's the plan here. That's what this place is all about. Oh, and I do have to say is one of the girls who talks all about the money stuff and everything. And I saw her yesterday, and she said on one of her insiders that she talks to, that she said, and this is going to be disappointing, but I've said, we can't get disappointed when this shit goes so slow. We just got to fucking get over it, because this shit can just beat you down, man. Fuck, how long it goes and drags out. Motherfuck. So, she said they are going to do the digital. They're going to bring that in. They're for sure, the FedNow, we're going to do that. She said that, but the reason isn't that because that's where we're headed. The reason is to wake people up, to scare them, to shock them, because we are going to have, well, you don't get this because you don't have this. You'd have to do that. There's going to be a lot of, I don't know if it'll be every single place. It can be certain areas that are going to, but it's going to happen, and I don't know if it's going to be nationally. But so they're going to put it in place to wake people up, like how horrible it's really going to get. Come on, guys. Come on. Do you really want this? Do you really want this? Yeah, I just got to get to a blue state. Just give me $1. Give me a job. It's like, fuck off, you people. Wake the fuck up. And so they're going to push that through, and they're going to push through some of the drama along with it. And they said the purpose is not only to wake people up, but to prepare them so they start understanding how the digital currency works. Because I guess apparently, because they watch us on social media. Juan said that back in like 2019. They watch us and see what the comments and stuff, and like you go in and watch, and you pick up on the energy. And so they go in and they listen to us and they watch us and they see how people react and stuff like that. So apparently the digital currency is going to have to be taught to us, but it's going to be taught to us through the bad side so that we can see. So then when the quantum comes in, we're going to exactly know how we're going to get it. So they're going to use the time wisely for those of us who are awake. But remember, if you're awake, it's going to be frustrating. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be like, it's going to push that part of you to have faith, to have trust, to think, okay, we can get through this. We can get through this. Another motherfucking, like, who goddamn knows? Like, I'm going to go, fuck, another goddamn month of this shit. Like, I fucking don't know. I still think this summer is going to be the summer of hell. It's going to be, and it's wicked weird how they keep fucking with the temperatures and shit. Like, man. They're just so, what was that yesterday? I saw a place that was snowing or something. Like, there's like all sorts of crazy shit going on with the crazy weather. And people are now saying, like, what the fuck? Like, and see how absurd and crazy it has to get to, and that is what wakes more people up. People are, like, tons of people are waking up to the weather shit. And you have tons of people out there who woke up about it a long time ago who are sharing evidence and information about the manipulation and stuff. So many more people are learning about all of this stuff as we go. But, so the... And so I don't know how long this part is going to drag out. I mean, the whole time I was listening to her talk, I was just like, God damn, I hope that this is not true. Fuck, how long we got to drag this out? Because I still think this summer is going to be where it's going to be burning down the cities and shit. It's going to be, this money thing is going to cause total chaos. And it's all been for that. It's all been leading up to this. And the whole thing is they wanted to take us into this system that they're saying they're going to have to take us into temporarily. That is their whole plan, is these 15-minute cities, get us on this digital currency just to make our lives smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah, they don't even want us to have barely a cubicle to live in. They want us to eat bugs and shit. And as long as people participate and say, hey, yeah, well, got to do good for the climate. And it's just madness, because it's like, for such an earth lover, maybe you should go out and drive around a little bit. Maybe you should go travel a little bit. Maybe you should go see. Most of the earth is empty. So how can they say we are using all the resources and destroying the planet when we're all compacted into a little tiny area that they are the fucking ones stripping it? Like, but these people believe it. They will fucking believe it. And they will argue to their death about it. And, call you names and tell you you're a science denier and you're a fool and you're stupid and everything else. Like, I cannot even believe the amount of names I've been called and stuff. And it's sad is how much that affects people now. Like, dude, I have been fucking called names since I was young. You got to get over this shit. You can't sit here and let your life fall apart because somebody calls you a goddamn name. People are just like, what our society has become so fragile, and it is unhealed. It's motherfucking unhealed. And that psychiatrist guy was talking about that the mental health stuff is not helping people's mental health. The diagnoses is used against people. It's all just about control. We have, I think it's 87% of the people are on anti-anxiety, antidepressants, some sort of blood-brain barrier medicine. And they'll still all talk about these. Like, I'm telling you, I think there's people who are out there just, wow, you crazy fools. And then they go in and, open up all their little things and take their 10 meds. And it's like, that's as much poison, right there. Turn on your faucet, get a glass of water, you just drank some poison right there. Like, it's all, and that's why I'm saying is the ones that have this and then this and then this and then all of them together. Like, man, I don't know how, like, and maybe mine is partly, like, yesterday I was thinking a lot about this too. I was thinking, maybe it's partly just my age of all the toxins and stuff building up in the joints. But I also think that wait a second, because it just went out again. Let's see, when I was looking at, and I was sitting there and I was thinking about my body and the toxins, and I was sitting in the tub. Ah, man, you can't see that now. Oh, God, that's frustrating. But one of the things too is I wanted to talk about, because man, on this show, I'm telling you, this show, it's so weird how they led me back to this show, because I wasn't even going to watch it. And then my daughter just kept being, oh, you got to go watch it. You got to go. And I kept seeing things, and I kept being like, my interest, like it was being like tapped or something. And so, but it's like, oh, I'm not going to watch that bullshit reality, and now that I am, and now I see, like, oh my gosh, I totally see why why it was brought to my attention. And there's a lot of things that are very trippy about it, though. And so there was a bunch of things. One of the things that was tripping me out yesterday, the one girl, because this season now, when it started back, so it started after quarantine. Like, the restaurants are just opening back up, so they're way down employees. They don't have near as many employees. So a lot of people from last year's drama aren't even on there anymore, and it's a very small group of people now. And so the one girl, she's the one girl whose name is Raquel. She is all involved in this huge drama that is going on, this scandal thing of this one main character and her having this long affair or something, which I haven't gotten to that part. But what is so trippy is watching this shit leading up, when you know what's going to happen, and they don't know what's going to happen, but you know what's going to happen. So watching the interactions and stuff, like watching Lala's still on there, and knowing that what's going to go down with Randall, that I don't even know all the stuff that's going to go down. I just know he's going down with the Hollywood shit. And Tom, the one who's involved in this scandal, he people keep arguing. Like, Lala keeps going in and arguing with people and being real judgmental. And that's what I'm saying. It's so crazy. The stuff she's saying, and Randall's the best guy, and oh my gosh, the stuff she's saying, it's like, oh my God, there's not even going to be room for, your 2 feet are already stuck in there. I don't even know where this is going. Like, what the fuck? So she has the whole thing with Randall. So Tom is one of the people who own Tom Tom. And that's where this Vanderpump Rules opened this other restaurant. Like, they've got like so many restaurants. So many, like I said, they've got a place in Caesar's Palace. Like, I don't even know what the fuck with all this money. I have seen, though, since I've watched, like, there's a way of, like, they have a lot of partners. They got a lot of different partners in different places. And then they get people to roll their money back in. So instead of taking their money out at the end of the year, they roll it back in and open another place. So, the people who are good with that kind of stuff, they like, but it just is like, man, y'all are, I don't know. I don't want to say, I don't know all the stuff. But anyways, so they got this restaurant, Tom Tom, because 2 of the guys that came, it was boyfriend. One of them was a bartender. One of them was a boyfriend who became friends with the bartender. And no, I think he was friends with the bartender and then met with this girl. So these 2 guys, they're both named Tom. And this Lisa Vanderpump really liked him. So she decided to open a restaurant for them and call him Tom Tom. So they're a part of the show. They're going to stay a part of the show. And Tom, the one who's involved in the scandal, he's real over the top. Sometimes he kind of reminds me of me. He's just, he likes costumes and stuff. Like, so anyways, but he's annoying. And but he's really cool too at the same, like all these people are really putting themselves out there to be judged a lot. Like, so, as I said, they're very exploited on this show. And they're so focused on just getting drunk all the time. And it's really trippy too, is so when the show is starting and they keep having it like the opening thing of showing LA or something, or Hollywood, but they keep showing it upside down. And I know there's some really good code breakers out there, but I think that's a code. They're showing it upside down, and then something, and then it flips. So that's just very coincidental that we would have this in these different movies, these different shows starting. And this is definitely, we've got the rainbow. This is definitely an owned station by the people who, it's all, I don't know, I'll see things the way I want to see things. And so to me, that is a definite group. Like this is the agenda. This peacock is pushing the agenda. And so they have the upside down, and then it flips. And yesterday or something, one of the days, Lisa's talking to one of the new girls, and she's going to go to a party with the people. And she says something about, okay, well, just be careful because these people have no morals. And I was like, okay, so these people think that they are here like to make all this fun and, because they're in the upside down, and it's going to flip. And when it flips, they're going to see they were part of the takedown. Like they were part of the creating the immoral society. And if you watch, you see like the stuff they're doing. This is like the stuff they do goes out from there. It is, this is stuff where you can see it so much, but it's hard to explain because their energy, because people don't see what their energy is. Like people think their energy is like, because everything is upside down. And I have seen where people have started saying now, like, the truth is coming out, but it's also your own truth. Like, that's the most significant thing, is your own truth. And that's what I'm always talking about. I keep waiting for my truth. Keep waiting to see, like, the things that they tell me, to see it in the physical. So to see my truth, or to see, am I catching what they're saying? Am I translating properly and stuff like that? So it is your truth. And a lot of people's truth is going to really blow them away because they think they're one way, but they're really completely the opposite way. And that is going to be very hard for a lot of people when they see it. And that's what I keep saying is like, and now people are starting to see like the truth. And I'm starting to see people like they can see through people. Like if you remember when I was talking about that, like, I don't know, a year ago or something, where I started saying like, oh my God, I can see through people. It's weird, but I can just see through them. Like they can't hide who they are. I can just totally see it no matter. And it becomes clear what they're trying to hide. Like it's weird when you start seeing it, but so a lot more people are starting to get that. And so these people, so they come in there, and they started when they were young, and and it's fate and destiny. You go to work at this restaurant, and then all of a sudden, the restaurant becomes a show. And because you guys are so outrageous and drunk all the time, and everybody's having sex with everybody, and the boss thinks it's so weird, she decides she'll just telecast it. So y'all go through all these years being, just having sex with each other, being drunk. So they're setting a tone. They're being role models, but they're being role models to the destruction of people. So that is not a lifestyle that is healthy. That is good for your soul or good for your body. There's nothing healthy about drinking and partying every day, and having sex with all different people, and just to devalue yourself sexually, to just take off your clothes and just for no, just to be, it isn't like just being, free, and when you're just trying to be seductive. So it's different. Like being nude isn't just a seduction. It is, there's two different poles. Like there's the being naked, to be true to your physical, natural self, and just feel what it feels to be naked in the trees, in the air, and all that stuff. And then there is the other, where it is used to seduce, like you're trying to turn people on. And see, that's what theirs is all about. That's why I said that, when they're making reference to their own party as a soft porn going on outside, then that is, so they are setting this tone. They are like if people like that are really into demons and all that stuff, like that energy, that would be that they are controlled by that demon energy to bring in this really negative kind, but make it seem like fun and exciting and standing up for your, like all this, that kind of energy, but it's going to flip. And then they're going to see they've been so toxic to humanity, to community, to other people. They've shamed and embarrassed themselves. And that is going to be a big thing, where people are going to suddenly feel naked. They're going to suddenly feel so exposed because they didn't realize what they were putting out into the world. And then when they do, then all of a sudden it's like they're totally exposed. That's the flipping. And that is the, all of a sudden, see yourself in the mirror. So when it flips, and it's going to freak so many people out, but that is your challenge. That is your, don't get freaked out. Don't get mad at yourself. Don't beat yourself down. Take a good hard look at yourself. Go in deeper. Like, man, why did I do that? Why was I doing that? Like, why did I feel that way? How did I get myself there? The questions, like that psychiatrist guy said, you don't need to be going to counselors and shit. You need, it isn't, the mental health industry is not there for your mental health. It's there to control you and diagnose you and get you on meds. So, and yesterday I saw another motherfucking commercial for those meds that cross the blood-brain, and now the TD, oh man, so crazy how you can see a word and still can't, like, and this is a word I knew as a nurse, tardation, it's a movement disorder. So it affects the blood-brain barrier. So it affects, this is what people, God damn, I wish I could get, we got to go through crisis so people can see, because that isn't, like, one person can't run around and tell everybody. And even if you could, not everybody's going to listen. They have to experience it. They have to go through it. Tarnedia, dysania, you'll see it on the commercials, but it's a movement disorder. And these motherfuckers, I can't even fucking believe this shit. And people will do it. People will listen. Sit there and tell them, stay on the meds. Stay on the meds. Just take this other one to help with those symptoms of the dicardia dystania, or whatever it's fucking called. It's like, that is the fucking opposite thing you want to be doing. You don't want to be adding on another motherfucking one that's going to have its own side effects, that is probably crossing the blood-brain barrier. They just want another reason to get on in there and get up in there. And because not all drugs can cross into your blood and into your brain. And so they, but that's, let's get up in there, And so they're going to bring in this other medicine to work on these symptoms. And so if you were taking something and you start having a movement disorder, get off that shit. And you're going to have to wean off of it. I would tell anybody who's having any kind of issues and stuff, go find a naturalist doctor or somebody to help you. If you don't know how to do some of this stuff, like there's a lot of stuff I knew how to do. I was a nurse. Went to school, so I knew what I was doing. And so a lot of people don't, and they go to the medical establishment to ask, and the medical establishment is not there for you to be healthy. It's there to destroy your health. So you have to find somebody who's going to help you figure it out, not just keep going back to the same serial killer who's going to just keep doing the same shit to you. He's going to keep poisoning. So you have to find somebody who's on your side. And so, Jesus Christ. So anyways, if you are, look for some naturopath, like there's doctors out there who are trying to help people figure out like what's going on inside of them and natural things that you can do. And apparently they cost a lot of money because of course the insurance isn't gonna pay for them, because the insurance is a part of the whole fucking the club. It's just an arm, it's a branch to the tree of deception. So the insurance won't cover it. You can also read a lot of books. There's lots of people. There's people who had no medical background whatsoever, got cancer, started reading everything about herbs and healing and health and all that stuff, and did it for themselves. So, don't get into this thing of not believing in yourself, thinking that somebody outside of you knows more about you. Like, how many people even go to the doctor and say, like, the doctor won't listen. The doctor's they don't even acknowledge what I'm telling them is what's going on inside of my body. You have to really recognize what's going on inside of your body. And the doctors won't. They'll tell you you're crazy. Oh, no, that's not real. That doesn't exist. Oh, that's just you, or that's crazy. And then they'll tell you, they'll have you so beat down, like, no wonder everybody's on antidepressants. All they do is beat you down and tell you you're crazy. And so they want you to just be on air, and they want those ones that are crossing in there. And I don't even think they know why they are. The pharmaceutical company does. We got the they're telling, their whole thing is to completely control our minds through, and if they can't download us like machines, then we don't have any value to them. They think that they run this place. I can't wait till they get off of it. I can't wait. I think so many of them are already, even that guy. I think a lot of the footage like we see of Klaus, all these people, I think is just old footage. I think a lot of those people are already, so, they're continue to be aggravating. Just like if they put us on that Fed now, it's going to be aggravating. I don't know. I'm just going to keep hoping that this is all going to go down in June and in July. And I had heard so many times where people were saying July we were going to be on the new money thing. And so I don't know if over the next few weeks the stuff is going to be going. I don't know if we're going to go on the Fed now, and then in the next few weeks we'll go off of it. Like, this is the kind of stuff where you just have to find your own faith, your own way to get through it, and it is hard. It's frustrating. So don't get down on yourself. Being frustrated, be frustrated. This is very fucking frustrating. Don't hold that in. Let it come out. Let all your emotions come out. Don't hold them in and keep them trapped. This is the time we're trying to let them go. Let go of shit. Get it out of you, so you're not burdened by all this shit, so you can ascend. And another thing too is I'm seeing all these people now, huge amounts of people now, all talking about the solar flash, which I think is just so funny because, they're all like, well, everybody in the spiritual community is talking about the solar flash. And it's just so crazy because this is a conversation that in the spiritual community that we were having in 2015 and 2016. We were all expecting the solar flash. We all thought it was going to happen then. Now I have a different feeling about it. I don't think it's about to happen right now. There's so much shit going on with the sun. There's so many Like if you go in and watch those people, the holes and the things shooting out and stuff, like the sun has got so much activity. But the more that we churn down here, the more we're sending that energy. We're in this energy thing going back and forth with the sun. And so that is why I'm saying is whatever's going to go down, like the outrage, the anger, all of this stuff that keeps happening, bringing in the Fed now, all the people who know what it is are going to fucking lose their goddamn minds. And then people are going to freak the fuck out. And then the people who I don't know. I mean, I assume there's going to be people who are all on board with it and are just like, yeah, well, I got to go to work. I got to get money. I got to have this. You're going to go to work and work for what, $600 a month, and then they're going to charge you $10,000 to live. Like, you're going to go spend all your time doing that. So but the frustration of going through this stuff is going to, is going to beat people down. You got to tune into yourself, take your own breaks, your own realizations, your own, and just keep remembering that it isn't just because the things are happening now. Like so many people think, like the guy yesterday, the Armageddon guy, 25 or 26, because I still think the solar flash is like more like next year. I think we have to go through this stuff. There's going to be all these traumas to keep getting people outraged and mad and angry, and because they got to release, they got to let go of this shit. And so there's going to keep being all this stuff to promote all of this and healing and stuff. And so all of that energy, and I think it's going to be really intense this summer. And then all that energy is sending back and forth to the sun, getting the sun more and more active. Like we're going to keep having more solar flashes and more. But when the big flash, the big event, the solar flash, the ascension, when that happens, we have to already have these people have to be awake. I don't. I mean, I know a lot of people think like they're the chosen, they're the special ones, they're the awake ones, and now they're just here for this, and all these other poor, stupid NPCs, they don't have any value. That's in this time period, we'll beat them down and we'll drag them down. They'll have to continue to pull along faith and hope and be like, okay, no, just because it's happening right now doesn't mean it's our future. Just because it's happening right now doesn't mean it's our future. And so those people will have all of that to go through to help them grow. Even though, I mean, like with Allison Coe, she went into hiding practically over the attack she had over naming when she thought the event was going to happen. So I don't know how it's going to affect some of these people who are out there saying it's about to go down, we're about to ascend and all this stuff. And because to me, we have to go through the rest of people awakening. There's no fucking way that anybody's going to convince me that all the people aren't here for awakening. That there's going to be a very small amount, like 4% of the people who won't awaken. And, and I don't know their role, so I can't judge them. I can't say like, well, they're just too stupid. They're just old soul. They're just this. We don't know. And so, but we have all these people, all these family members, all these people who still have to awaken and still have to go through this bullshit. And so that is, all of that energy, all of that turmoil, all of that chaos, it keeps shooting this energy out, and the sun keeps responding and shooting back. And so then it's supposed to be that at some point, and I don't know, because we have the pole shift, that's the energetic shift of the planet. And I think that has to do with the awakening. I don't think that is part of the solar flash, but I don't know. I mean, and then I saw somebody saying, well, we go through this it's like, we've never gone through this before. The resets happen, but for us to be a part of it in such a big one too, because this isn't just a reset. We're not staying in the 3-dimensional playground anymore. There is a reset and ascending into higher states of consciousness for more advanced incarnations. So it's like a whole new level of the game. Like, so it is, you know, there's like big changes. And so anyways, to me, the, the people who, I think the pole shift is kind of, it's the energetic shift. It's that where, like at the beginning of these shows where they keep showing everything is upside down, and then all of a sudden they show it go right side up. Why are they even showing that in shows? And but that is what it's going to be like, and it's going to feel like everything flips upside down. So for those of us who see that everything is upside down, it's going to feel good because now we're going to be right side up. But to everybody who is comfortable being upside down, they're going to be very uncomfortable when it flips right side up, especially because they're going to have to take a look at themselves, why they were comfortable being upside down, what they did when they were upside down, all of those different things. Those are all things for the people to heal. And so that energy, as that is all going, is being sent out. See, I think it's all going to go, it is all a part of the same thing, but it doesn't happen at the same time. But everything happening, just like what I had said in my own personal life, where they told me that the things that are coming for me, they're already happening. I just don't know what's happening, but it's already like, this is we're in the story. Like, even if you think nothing's happening, you're in the story already. And so this is like the roots of the story. This is the background. This is the preface of the story. Like, this is a part of the story. And so we have all this part, you know, that to experience, and that to it like gives us reference. And then the chaos and the different people awakening. Oh my gosh, this burping is crazy. Then the people awakening, and then then that energy is being sent out, like all of these energy surges being sent out and hitting into the sun, because that is the central sun. So I think it is kind of like, like in this picture, to me, it is like it's like a portal. It's like the hole. It's like our firmament goes up, and it's like that's the hole at the top or something. Like, it is a place that ships go through and stuff. So, and you know, I don't know. I don't think it's just a disc going around in here. I think that is artificial. This disc that they have going around. So I don't know. There's some of this shit, you know, we're going to have to try and see as we're shown. But so the energy that we're sending out, that's going to cause the sun to do that big boom. And it's already, the energy is already getting set in there. So the big boom, the blackout sun, is when everything, that to me is the big, it's like, what is that called? When they said, what started the earth? The big bang. That is what, to me, is going to be like that kind of, this just energetic boom that is going to just create this whole new existence. And so it is kind of like our environment is breathing. And then it is going to be like, and then it's going to like sneeze, or it's going to like cough. So it's going to be like this breathing, like a rhythm. And then there's like and then it is like an explosion of energy. And that energy, depending on your own abilities to raise your vibration, is how you would be affected by this energy. And that's why it's so important to be doing your healing right now and really working on you and letting go of stuff, so that you can handle this vibration. You can handle when it does that. It's not going to affect you because you're not going to be dense. You're not going to be heavy, holding on to shit. You're going to be light. You're going to be, you know, I mean, like, to me, I feel light, and I feel like I don't feel like the only things I feel inside of my body are like painful things. And I'm really at this point of seeing all these different things that, like, about the tattoo ink. It's like, oh my gosh, for how much tattoo ink I have in me and these implants, like, there's probably just poison going through my body. You know, I mean, those things, these people have these horrible effects from this stuff. So, you know, if I'm having this joint pain and stuff, it can very much be from that. Too, is, you know, I want to get these implants out. So, oh man, I really want the tattoos off now. I want all of this tattoo ink out of me. I want all of, I want to go back to my natural body. And it's so crazy is, when I was younger, how, you know, and another thing too is, so when I watch this girl Raquel on the thing, the one that I feel empathy towards, because she's really lanky, she's really quiet, she is constantly being told she's stupid, and she's embarrassed. And even the other day, she had a whole thing where she pulled a game thing, and she was supposed to do a toast. So in the game they were playing, the card she pulled was to do a toast. And she, like, panicked. She couldn't fucking do it. And she was so embarrassed. And everybody's staring at her. She even went in the bedroom, was crying. And I completely related. Like, to me, I think when I'm sitting here doing this, people think, oh, like I'm an extrovert or something, like I'm confident or something. No, I was like that. I'm even right before quarantine when we went to Costa Rica for my daughter's wedding. And, you know, they're all expecting me to do a toast. And I had it planned. I think I even had it all written out. And I couldn't do it. I got up and I tried to talk. I couldn't. My mouth won't work. I go into like a full-on panic. And I talked about this before, how it affected me even in school. And I would completely panic. And what is crazy too is I think that people look at somebody and they'll think like, oh, well, that person's pretty, so they obviously feel pretty. And to me, like, I mean, Raquel's really pretty. And I had people tell me I was pretty when I was younger. You know, I have people tell me I'm pretty, but anyways, but I didn't feel it. I didn't ever feel it. And to me, it is like when you're inside the body, and to me, being inside of it, and every time I would look in the mirror or something, I would just see a bunch of weird distortion. I'd see my dad's face, my mom, like, I didn't have any idea what I look like. I just kept thinking I was very strange looking. And I had giant cheeks. And you know, and all the other girls had, you know, I don't know. I guess I had a Eastern European face, I think. Is different. So the other girls that I was going to school with, I don't know, you know, what theirs is, but my face was different than the other girls. And so I just thought I was strange looking. And then I had this really long, lean body with these long limbs. And so when I see those girls in the shows and they're so awkward, and I always that's the character who I align with, is this Raquel. And, you know, I mean, I completely feel her. I feel compassion and empathy because of the her awkwardness and being in that same position and being so awkward. And she does know she's pretty. She's told all the time, you know, and she was a pageant girl, but she's still, even knowing that she's pretty or something, she's still awkward. She can't fucking, the other day she did do a talk because they kept putting so much pressure on her, but she had to get super drunk to be able to do a toast. And but she's super, super awkward and uncomfortable. And it's so crazy. When I was talking to my daughter yesterday, I was saying to one of them, she hasn't watched the show, but the one daughter has told her everything. So she thinks that she knows all these characters, but she doesn't know all of them. But anyways, it's just strange because the Raquel one, how other people don't like her, and watching it is like, this girl in the show leading up to this, like, I'm really curious about how this is going to twist, Because leading up to this, Raquel is awkward. Yeah, she's pretty, but she's not like one of the in girls. Like she's, and I just don't see her as being an asshole or a bitch or anything like that, where other people sit there and think that she's like the most biggest monster. And I'm like, okay, so are you taking all of your thoughts that you think of her, is it all just based on her? Because I think it is based on other things. I think people see certain people and think like, well, they're don't like them right off the bat. Just, and it could be a short girl, and it could be all different things, but it could be a short girl who sees the tall girl and doesn't like her just right off the bat. Oh, she thinks she's so cool. She thinks she's so cool. She's so tall. She walks around with her long legs and stuff, and it's her attitude. She's not even anywhere inside that girl. She doesn't know if that girl's walking around going, oh my God, these legs are going to fall any minute. They're so awkward. How do I even, and running into things and stuff. She doesn't fucking know. But that is the thing, is like they automatically assume that person's the bad person because of their own feelings about something about that person. And so when you notice, like on the reality shows, you'll see the characters you align with, you have some sort of empathy, some sort of compassion, like where you align with them as your avatar in the show. And so, and anybody who does something to them, then you're like, oh, that's not fair. You know what I mean? It's like your character in the show. And so the thing with her is what I'm really curious about. So they've got all the show after the quarantine, like all these people left the show, and they're trying to hire people back. Now they're trying to open all these restaurants. They've got, trying to find staff, and we know what's gone on with that. I mean, we know in real life what has happened with the wait staff and restaurants and stuff like that. And so, and the food, how much food has gone up, like to be opening so many restaurants, high-end restaurants and stuff, all at once, like, man. So I can see, like, if you needed some, and Hollywood is known for creating drama to get exposure, to get everybody to watch something. And so even at this point of leading up, and it is also weird is how much Tom and James are so close in this season, and how much Tom is helping James with his relationship, his what is that called when you ask his proposal, paid for shit, like all this stuff, like they're the best of friends. And he doesn't seem like, he's maybe, he's not like over trying to be all chummy with the girl, Raquel. He's not over trying to hug her and talk to her and stuff like that. You'd think a camera guy would get that. She seems very off on her, and she seems madly in love with James. But now James is showing that rage side of his alcoholic side. So he's no longer drinking, but this other side of him won't go away. This asshole, I didn't get my way, so now you're an asshole, you're a dummy, you're stupid. If you're doing that, just this constant ridiculing people. So, he's got his issues. Like I was saying yesterday, is people have got to see that they can heal that stuff. Like, whatever you were hiding from when you were being an addict or an alcoholic or whatever, you were hiding from your trauma, your pain, and you have to go back in and you have to heal that stuff. Or you're going to go around, you're going to be reactive, you're going to be angry just because you aren't masking it with alcohol anymore. It's still in there. And so you have to, get through the muck and find out what is the pain. And so you can release the pain once you find it. It's so crazy. Is once you find it, once you figure out where it comes from, what its problem is, you can release it. So you don't have to carry it. You don't have to keep it in you. And so, and I'm just really thinking, like, I can totally change my mind. Like, there's a lot of things, like I have said, like now this whole thing with Sheena, she found her guy, this Jason Momoa lookalike. She was desperate, trying to get every single guy, so desperate through the whole time. And now she's got this, guy. But, you know, he's got some problem. Like, there's a whole drama on that whole thing. But for Raquel and James, to all of a sudden now Raquel is this giant scandal and taking down this whole thing and all of these problems. I don't know. I'm really thinking, is this something to just get attention on the show? Money, something like that? Like, I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't even think I'm through halfway through the season 9, which there's hardly any people, and it's just one party and one drama after another. It's tedious, really. But and then I think it's next season. So you have all this year to go through of the financial struggles, the problems with people not wanting to work, and all of this stuff that is going to happen, the huge acceleration in price of buying supplies and stuff. And you've got all these high-end restaurants, and so you're just going to, you know, take your fortune to keep them running? Or are you going to create some drama to get everybody to tune in and see the show and get a kickback off of that? Like, I don't know. Like, I find it, when things stick out to me when I'm watching something, and certain things stick out, you know, and they make sure and point things out to me. Like, make sure that, and one of the reason when they showed me with the rainbow dots on the side of the peacock thing was a commercial came on, and then plus how many shows they have where they're pushing an agenda. And then this commercial came on that was very, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so pushing this narrative, this agenda. And then the gay thing, and I don't know, they just pointed out a whole thing. And so now I'm just really like, that station is a programming station. It's to program, and it's to control the minds and stuff. But you see, like, how it was in the Upside Down. So they got all these kids, all these young adults out just having sex with whoever. I mean, even one of the outfits, you know, the big rape scene I talk about in the that one teenage show I couldn't even fucking believe. What was that called? I know I talked about it and said the name then. It's on Netflix. And it seems like it's something like The Grand Army or something. And you'll know if you find it. It's a teenage high school show. And the rape... You know how much I argued with my one daughter about that, because she's like, that's rape. I'm like, no, it's not. The girl was raping the boys. Like, and then as soon as the boys do something, all of a sudden, then it, like, no. Girls have got to learn to take responsibility for themselves. Yeah, that is not okay. You don't sit there and do that kind of stuff and then call, call the rape card when, no, that's some bullshit. That really irritates me. We got to teach girls to empower themselves, stay safe, and not just treat yourself like a garbage, sex worker. Just put it out there and then whine and complain. Oh man, so aggravating. But is these kind of things, this programming is what does it. And so they program these kids just go out, have fun and stuff. But the outfit the girl is wearing in that one scene in the taxi cab, she's wearing this, like, a sweatshirt dress or something, but it's super short, and then these super high boots. And Sheena wears it to a party. And then at these parties too, they're always doing S&M and stuff. They're always playing, like, all that stuff, and always talking about, like, and then they have it in these other shows. This is programming. And so they have programmed these kids to not care about anything, to just have sex, just party, and that's all that matters and stuff. And so it's these people, the puppets in the show, when it flips upside down. Like, I think some of them are already experiencing it because they're not on the shows. Like, there's 4 of them had babies over that period of time. 2 of them aren't even being on there with their kids. And one of them, Sheena, like when there's all this stuff coming out about kids being exploited, like there's so much about that. What is wrong with parents? I guess there was a big one yesterday because all these vlogging parents. One, the woman's pregnant, and so they used a clickbait and said that she had lost the baby to get everybody to go in and watch their new video when it wasn't even true. And so people are just outraged on the clickbait, the discuss, like what people will do for attention and using their kids. But I mean, that's on this show too. Sheena is she's already vlogging her child. She even was out clothes shopping with Lala in a clothes store and gets a dress, and it's super expensive. They're in one of those, like, they're not any fucking Kmart or something. They're some fucking fancy ass kid boutique, and pulls up some dress, probably a $200 little dress. And it's so cute. But even if I get it, she can only wear it once. Once I show her in a picture on Instagram in it, she can never wear it again. What the fucking shallow ass shit? Are you fucking kidding me? But so she's coming in. But see, this is the thing too, is these people who are in this guy real self-centered, self-ego driven. And, I mean, her awareness isn't that this whole vlogging and exploiting your children is blowing up, and people are being exposed right and left and being shamed for, making money off of your kids and putting them out there like that. It's shameful. It's disgusting. And there is more people who are talking about, like, this period of time we're in right now, when we get a little ahead and we look back, this isn't going to be a time of shame, deep shame. This is going to be a period of time where people are going to be like, I don't want to talk about that time. I don't want to talk about what I did during that time. It is going to be a part of time where people are very ashamed of themselves. And there's going to be so much, too, for kids to get over. Like, we have got a whole, I don't think it's one generation. I think there's a couple that are really fucked up. Really fucked up. With wherever it was that they stopped teaching kids to love themselves and to go in and change some part of themselves. And then people can't even see the hypocrisy that lies behind the whole thing. And there is nothing that, and I'm so glad that there's so many people, speaking out and talking about that there's phases that kids go through. You go through a phase sometimes of maybe feeling like you're the other one or wanting to be the other one. And maybe you got a lot of guy friends. Maybe you don't have a lot of girls around you. And so you really like to play with the guys, but then they're going to turn you into one. In this day and age, in this society, they won't let you just be that. They won't let you go through an experience and figure out who you are. They want it controlled and defined immediately. And that is because they want to, as fast as they can, take away that ability to procreate, because they are trying to destroy humanity and mankind. And then there's the people who participate, who are so lost and don't know who they are, and think that stuff makes sense. If you change your gender, you're going to become happier. And the one girl, I stopped following her now, the one named Kelly, because, she was being one direction. She was standing up and speaking truth and being defined in self. And then once she started getting bullied by the conservatives, she decided she wasn't a conservative, which I don't even know if it was real conservatives bullying her. There's bullies on both sides. And once she decided that she was going to not be a conservative anymore, now she's decided to go back to the other group. And she is begging. I couldn't watch it. It made me kind of feel nauseous. I was like, oh my God, people. Like, you don't have to have a group. You don't have to have a group back you up and say that you are valid. You have to find your validity in yourself. You have to find your truth in yourself. You have to find the belief in yourself People get mad because somebody isn't believing them, isn't doing what they need them to do. You can't expect other people to do what you need them to do. You have to do it for yourself. And it's nobody's doing anything wrong because they're not doing what you need them to do. It's more like you're doing something wrong, expecting other people to do something to make you happy. So those are things that you got to release. Like, there's no reason that people should be having to come in to make you happy. You should be able to find your own happiness, your own truth, your own identity in yourself. But, you know, that's the problem with our programming and all this stuff. I mean, we've got so many lost people. So anyways, I don't know. You know, it seems like it's just going to keep pushing and pushing us more. If they're going to bring in this goddamn FedNow shit, it's really aggravating. But if they are going to do that, I don't know. Like, my Social Security check would go in on the third Wednesday of this month. So I'll know more then, I guess. Like, if it actually is deposited, if it's deposited in this FedNow thing, like, I don't know. I mean, to me, they've been threatening us and saying so much stuff and nothing goes through, nothing follows through. It's like that we just always have these threats, which is better than having to actually do the thing. The threats gets people, because the whole thing's for the awakening. So I'd rather just have the threats and wake people up. I just want to hurry up and get to the other side. I want to get to the side where things switch. I want to get to my own truth. That's my biggest thing, I think. I feel like I could handle a lot more bullshit if I could have my own truth. If I could see, like, am I just up here talking nonsense? Like, I don't think I'm talking nonsense. I think I'm telling the truth. And especially, like, even if, it takes people a while, that I keep hearing people eventually say the same things that I've been saying for a long time. So, but still, it'd be nice in the physical to have some sort of reference, some sort of confirmation, which we will all have. We'll all have confirmation. That is, but that is what, to me, I feel like is the thing that drives me the craziest, is I want confirmation over my own truth, over my own inner knowing, to know, like, am I going in the wrong direction? Am I going in the right direction? What am I supposed to be doing? And I know lots of people feel that way. So anyways, that's the part. I feel like, yeah, if I know my own truth, then, I feel like I can handle a lot more of the bullshit. But I don't know. I don't know how it's all going to go down. I really feel like that there's going to continue to be this stuff coming forward. And confirmation and truth is going to continue to come out. Outrage. And that is going to be the energy that goes out into our solar system or firmament or whatever, and is going to come back. And then that is going to be that I don't think that's the pole shift. I heard pole shift loud in my head, but maybe that is the pole shift. Maybe all of this is leading up to that. And man, that just seems so crazy. I just know that these other people have to awaken. Like, I 100% do not believe we're going to go into ascension when there's still half the people aren't even awake. And half the people that are awake aren't even fully awake. They're just stuck on something that scares them, just like everybody else. So it makes no sense for the ascension to happen. In order to see your true self, the pole shift has to go. Everything has to be shown in its true color to be able to see your truth. So to me, the pole shift it will be a part of it, but it's not going to happen at the same time. To me, when the solar flash occurs, it is, I think it's going to be something like the firmament, the ice wall. I think that's when all that's going to go. I think that's when everything is going to open up. It's kind of like our bubble is going to pop, the bubble that we have been contained in. It's like that is going to pop. That, to me, is the solar flash. And that once it pops, that is when everything is going to open up to us. That is when we're going to have to, and right now they're trying to help us learn, like that's what this FedNow thing is supposed to be, is to help us learn and grow with the technology, even though they can't unveil what's coming. It still is preparing and teaching us to get us ready for what's coming. So anyways, just try and keep yourself sane. That's all. Don't doubt your own sanity. No matter how all this is going down for you and how realities are splitting, time is just going away. Like, it's weird. Time is so motherfucking weird. Like, it's weird. It's so weird. Like, you can live 3 hours and 5 minutes. It's weird as shit. So, and I know that's something with how I'm seeing all of these different episodes and still going out and doing all this other stuff. There's something jacked with time. So anyways, just be clear and that there is, all this stuff is real. All this crazy falling apart shit is real. You're not crazy. You're not losing your mind. There are people talking around you. Everything that is supernatural is real. That was all a lie. Everything was folklore. That was all real. Everything has been a lie except for what is real. And what is real is what they've been trying to hide from us. So that is what we have to be able to see. But that is part of what creates the outrage. So I think it's going to be close together. Like, once the pole shift happens, then we know that energy is sent out. We know the energy is on its way. So we know we're closer to that ascension. But there is going to be, and it can be a lot longer than I think. Time is a trip, man. And so it can be that it is going to be a lot longer than what we would want it to be. The time between when you see the truth and when the solar flash happens. But all this stuff has to do with the people. It's all the people. That's why I say, don't fucking interfere and turn around and start being like, I told you so. That is going to push people deeper into a different thing. We want it to go the other direction. So we are the ones that have to pull it forward. So being negative and toxic is not going to be moving us forward. We want to stay positive. And, and when people start waking up, just be open to them, listen to them and stuff. And just, don't, I don't know, because I know the same trigger. Like, when I see these people saying some of this shit, I want to go in and be like, oh my God. Ugh. So, but that is our own control, our own restraint, our own ability to control our own emotions and our own reactions. And those are our challenges. Those are our tests. So just be aware. You don't want to fail that test. You want to just be aware that you do need to control yourself, control your own attitude, your own mouth, all of that stuff. And so anyways, I've been talking a really long time. So just, stay focused on you. I mean, this isn't going to stop. Like as much as we want it to just be over with, put Trump in and go back to, that's not going to happen. We have to go through the end of all of this. And, there's just serial killers out there all over the place. The one in Portland now is getting all this talk. The Chicago, they're out there everywhere. So you got to stay safe. You got to stay smart. If you're here for the future, then your guides are helping you. If you're not, then you've got someplace better to be. So don't stress about it. There's someplace really cool that you're going, and it could be to there, but you're going to go out of this door and go in the side door. So you can very well be up there. Like they've said, it's going to be like heaven on earth, and it's going to be like the dead and the living are living together. So that's what I've said. People who you think are passing and you're traumatized, you got to go through that. You got to go process of, the loss. But they could very well be up there with you. Oh, and another thing I want to say this real quick too before I go is on that show. Oh my God, that's burping. Ugh. Is that the girl, she's not on it anymore. But she, her mom had died 7 years ago, and then Sheena had wanted to bring a psychic medium for her to get an opportunity to talk to her mom. And so she was like, hell no, I don't know. And her mom died 7 years ago. And it was just weird to hear her talk like that. Like, you know, I'm telling you, if you've got somebody who has passed over, go talk to them. Go talk with a medium. They're not gone. You can go and talk to them in your bedroom and they will come in. You will feel them. You can feel their energy come. That's not crazy. That's real. So, you know, you can use a medium to talk to them. You can talk to them. But it's real. They don't leave. Don't get yourself all, like, you got to go through the loss. You got to process what you came here to process. But, you know, I mean, we're in a game. We're in a game. Nobody's really dying. Nobody's really dead. It's just a game. So, anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.